In chess, there are certain defined openings, such as the Roy Lopez or the Sicilian defense. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some Polytopia openers that will always start you off in the right foot. This time, I'm going to talk about Imperious, Luxidoor, and finally, Kickoo. Alright, let's get right into it. Sunny Master 6968 left me a great tip in a comment about Imperious, so let's talk about that. I'm really glad that somebody made a suggestion here, because for Imperious, I was thinking, I don't know, they're a T0 tribe, so make 2 apples and just get whatever makes sense in the moment. This is actually a pretty smart strategy. So on T0, you grab your 2 fruit and level up your city. And you're going to make a warrior on turn 1 and 2. So you're going to fully load your city with warriors. It's always a good idea to head towards fruit when you're looking for cities randomly. They tend to spawn towards cities more often than not. So keep making your warriors. You can get riding now. Grab that city. And now you've got riding. So you've got a lot of units. You can spread out in all directions and really get a lead on anybody in the area. So just to summarize how that happened again, you collect your 2 fruit on turn 0. That'll always be there for Imperious. On turn 1 and 2, you make a warrior, spread them out. On turn 3, you should be able to get a city. So you grab your riding technology, then you capture the city and make a rider. And now by turn 4, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So doing pretty well. This is especially good for Imperious because there are not as many T0 tribes anymore. I think maybe just Kickoo and Zubasi. And Kickoo's going to be focused on trying to get ports probably, so they're not going to be as unit heavy. So having a lot of units in the beginning of the game is a pretty good tactic. And it's pretty funny because beginners just make a ton of units, and then I feel like when you start to get better, you find other ways to play. You're like, oh, I'm going to go like more economy, or I'm going to do something like kind of creative. And then when you get even higher level, you realize, you know, having a lot of units is actually pretty darn effective. You know, it's like a full circle. I'll call this one the Luxidoor Score. So the advantage with Luxidoor is you start with a level 2 city. So that means that you get 3 population to use and you get 3 stars per turn, which means that from turn 1, you can make a rider every single turn. So you start with riding technology, which doesn't really set you back because at best other tribes are making the same amount of stars as you, or maybe 1 more or less than you. And on turn 2, you make another rider. And Polytopia, having a lot of units in the beginning of the game can be a bigger advantage than you might think, as I mentioned with the previous tribe. From there, Luxidoor is a very flexible tribe. They can be a little bit difficult to play, and on the tech tree you might end up spreading wide. Instead of going high up into a high tier tech, you might get a bunch of lower tier techs. So Kickoo's kind of the star of the show now. I mean, they're one of the only T0 tribes, and they start with fishing and the scout ship. And after the Polytopia naval update, the resources and the ships that you can use to control the water are a lot more powerful than before. So Kickoo's got a pretty big advantage if you really take advantage of their turn 0 water technology. So I'm going to call this one the Kickoo Sneaku, because you're going to sneak into that water as fast as you can, and you're going to rush navigation and grab all the stars before anybody else has a chance to get them. And that'll give you a big boost. Now, disclaimer about this technique is it's really best when you have a seemingly open body of water next to you. If you're mostly landlocked or you're in a tight river, this might not work as well. Probably won't. But if you have a lot of water, on turn 0, you're going to grab 2 fish and level up your city with a workshop. And then you're going to take your warrior and spread out towards the nearest resource, because villages usually spawn next to resources. Normally do find a village on turn 1 or 2, so you can go ahead and grab that. For the tech, it's time to get sailing first, actually. You can save your stars here. You're going to make your first port. And then on turn 4, you're going to make a warrior. Keep exploring with this guy. Now, normally, nobody would recommend that you don't get technology to upgrade this city right away, but I'm going to recommend that you don't get technology to upgrade the city right away. You'll make up for it if you're the first one and you manage to grab all these stars. Nobody else will even be close to you if you manage to get in as fast as possible with Kickoo. So this is just min-max, pure get in the water as fast as you can strategy. So keep exploring. And here I'm actually gonna grab technology. So if you start with open water like how I did, you have a pretty good chance of finding stars before everybody else. I grabbed one here and now I'm already on another star. And if you look, just as an example, on turn 8, just for fun, I made a bomber right away. I mean, imagine you've got a couple of swordsmen in your Ven gear, now there's a bomber hovering over your city. It's going to be a serious issue. These stars in the water, they're such a powerful technology. I mean, I wonder if they're going to be nerfed at all. To me, it seems a little crazy to get 10 stars out of all these, but hey, for now, that's great. Works well. And there you have it. Turn 12, I've got 3 bombers, and this wasn't a particularly special map or anything. Look at that. Now I'm starting to land on treasure. Pretty economically well off at this point. So just to quickly summarize, with Kickoo, if you start out with open water, sort of like how this capital is, you have a feeling you've got a lot of water right out here where you can explore. I would recommend rushing navigation and not even upgrading anything else until you grab all these stars and ruins out of the middle of the ocean. Because if you're the first one into the water, I mean, I've seen it time and time again, that you often get 2 to 4 stars, which is like a 40-star value, and a couple of treasures, and you can use that to quickly get bombers and just sort of take over the middle of the map here. Call that the Kickoo Sneaku. Hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with anything that you saw, or if there's any special requests that you want to make. Don't forget to like and subscribe if that was helpful and you want to see more Drock Talk content. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to check out the Drock Talk Discord server if you want to play some games with me, maybe be featured in some videos, or just chat with some other viewers of Drock Talk. Alright, until next time. Thanks, bye.